أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي من أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم من علمه إلا بما شاء وذا الذي السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم صدق الله العظيم. Anyway, real quick, I think people will notice who understand Quran just by the way I recite it that I've known it for a long time and I don't read it that much. I just recite from memory. Uh, I used to read it a lot until I started memorizing too much, and then as a Muslim, you're obligated to keep in memory whatever you have memorized. So if you memorize something from the Quran, you're obligated to always keep it. Otherwise, it's a sin to forget it. So I started memorizing some too much, so I stopped listening, which I regret that, and I want to undo that. I decided I'm just gonna read a lot until I become like Hafiz. Just because I revealed to a lot of people, and I figured out that one of my childhood miracles when I was a little kid was that supposedly I memorized half of the Quran with Qira'at before I could talk. So, like, supposedly nobody ever did that before. So I got really famous for that. And old people told me about it in my old age when I went back to Egypt. They told me about it, and then they just were confused that I knew nothing about it and I couldn't remember it. And then that's how I started to figure out that uh, we immigrated to the United States because my family wanted to get me away from that because they felt like religious attention, especially starting since before you could talk, like excessive religious attention is they thought was gonna ruin my life. So that's kind of why they came to a country that's not religious. And I keep looking over there all the time because I tell people all the time, well, I'm always on guard. I always have to know where my weapons are. I never know. Like, there's been some people doing some weird stuff, and I talked about it. It's it's an organization. It's a RICO kind of thing. It's a whole group of people doing it, where they keep trying to like catch me outside, and try to like do whatever. It's all suspicious type stuff. I can't really name it. Like fight me, beat me to death, whatever. Like delete me, whatever. I don't know why they're doing this. I didn't do anything to them. So somebody's calling. What I do know is that somebody is calling them over here when they see me outside. Then they call them and they tell them to come. So it's somebody close to me who's doing it. And I talked about it in other videos, so I don't want to talk about it again. But that's why I always look to the left all the time because I'm always watching that door. Like if I see anybody moving around, I gotta get a weapon right away. Cause it's just weird. Uh, I posted something I seen about loneliness. I there's this guy who he's like a Joker. He dresses like a Joker and he makes like a video as a Joker as the Joker, but he talks psychology stuff, so it's kind of interesting. But I post a lot of those videos. I post a lot of psychology stuff. I find psychology very interesting. Like it helps you understand people why people do what they do. That's what I think. Uh, so otherwise you can't know. Sometimes you can't know. You just be like thinking like, is that person crazy? What the heck? Why are they doing that? Is there something wrong with them? What the hell? So anyway, what I was gonna talk about, I don't even know what I was gonna talk about. I keep starting videos talking for like 5 minutes and then stopping it and deleting it. I don't even know what I want to talk about because it's like all my everything I have to talk about really in terms of history is all sad and depressing. It's not stuff I want to talk about. So it's like, oh, what do you have to talk about? Oh, it's more depressing stuff. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about something else. Can talk about something else. Oh, people need to know that. Well, oh, people need to know that. Oh, ouch. Yeah, it's history stuff. People need to know history. Like history is hard to deal with, and then like this kind of history is hard to live in, to live with. So like we read a lot of history about people being slaves, but if you're a black man, you read history about your ancestors being slaves and you came from slavery. It's got to be a different kind of hardness for you to deal with, knowing that that's how you started and that's how you end up. But yeah, so it's hard for me to make my videos. It's hard for me to talk about the history because I feel like that's the important thing I have to talk about is the history of what's really going on. Like, in other words, people are doing kala, trying to delete me and steal from me, and they failed. So I'm like, oh, God made them fail so that I could live and tell. So I make these videos to tell. But a lot of times I'm making them really, really short. That's why I want to make just live videos and have people direct what they want to hear. I don't really know what to talk about anymore because all the history stuff I have to talk about is not good news, and I don't like to talk about it. I'd rather just look to a future that I can imagine will be a lot better. So, and that's kind of what gets you through hard times is that you're optimistic, I think. So I tell people like because of my godly optimism, in other words, God and the angels are involved, so I know that I can win even an invincible fight. So because of my own godly optimism, so I'm optimistic in God and the angels and everybody, and them being good and doing good and taking care of everything good that has to happen. So, um, and that's that. And I just depend on God. So, other than that, I think people who don't have that kind of faith probably could not do what I have done, and they might have failed in the past because they didn't read the pattern of the universe and of God and of the angels and of how the whole universe is operating. That's by knowing the properties of God, how He is, how He acts, stuff like that. His sunnah. Allah has a sunnah, just like we have a sunnah. A sunnah is like your pattern, your habits. So, uh, me being successful where a lot of other people have failed is all put to me understanding that uh, God is there and the angels are there and there's a master plan that's invincible overall. Like nobody from any of the creations can stop it. So that's what keeps me going with hope in a seemingly hopeless situation. It's like God and the angels can do anything. They can do anything. They can achieve. They can make anything happen. Oh, God may chose you to do this because you know that. Oh, you know that God can make this impossible thing happen. Even though you know it's impossible, like God gave you something impossible that you have to do, and then you just have to trust in God to do it. So, oh, okay, that's why God gave it to you because you have good trust in God. That's why. Other people who didn't have trust in God got it, and then it failed. So then, obviously, God didn't bring it through them. He didn't choose the right person at the right time to make it really happen the way he did with me. So, believing in God has something to do with it. Has something to do with it being able to happen, and for me being able to deal with all of it anyway. So it's like that's kind of how faith and religion is. There's like a lot of duties, and you don't know how you're gonna do it. You just pray to God because you think that's the only way you can possibly do it. But that's about it. That's it. Bye bye.